Hey everybody, hope everybody is doing well. Post Tinley Park NARBC show. I know we had a lot of fun. I wasn't able to make it on Friday. Unfortunately, I needed to buy a car, so it kind of took a little bit of precedence. But I was able to get there on Saturday and Sunday pretty much all day. And it was a blast as always. I didn't get a whole bunch this year, but I did get a few things, which we'll talk about. We might do a whole video on it another time, so I won't get too much into that right now. But I hope everybody is doing good. Let's see. Somebody from the Netherlands here. Welcome. 1:27 a.m. It is 6:30 p.m. here right now. So, but yeah, welcome. Hi, Carters. Coils, how are you? Actually, no, Carter. He's a great guy. An Iowa State Railroad fan. Thank you. Appreciate that. So, we keep doing these auction videos. They're we enjoy doing them. So a lot of fun. I honestly think doing live streams in some fashion is here to stay. I still won't commit to every Tuesday for sure, even though it has literally happened every single Tuesday. But I just don't want to promise things and not deliver on them. So, all right, but yeah, let's go ahead and get started. I do it right this time?
Yeah, you did.
Hooray!
Oh,
Okay.
wait, so you have the history tab open.
What history tab? Oh, this? Yeah, well, it shows what I was looking at to research this. But, yeah. So these are the ones ending the soonest. One of them already has ended, it looks like here. There's a lot of proven breeders again, and you see Sterling Nelson has made a return. He's been downsizing probably to bring in a bunch of grow outs. When you think about it, these guys who've been in this for a long time have sometimes thousands of animals. So yeah. So, as you start to get animals, it becomes quite a challenge to move them. I mean, heck, I have a few that I need to move, and it's like pulling teeth sometimes. It's like, gosh dang, you need to move on from them, but you don't want to let them go for an absolute steal. So, but that's what kind of happens here sometimes, not gonna lie. So, but yeah, let's go ahead and continue. Let's go ahead and go on with the ones I have kind of highlighted from this. Starting off with this Stranger Cinnamon Leopard Het Clown, and this is a really nice dark animal. You've got 3 genes that just complement each other quite well. This ends in an hour, by the way. The Het Clown in this female is very nice. Having the clown gene along for the ride. Having a dark clown like this, if you hit the visual, would be so awesome. There's a lot of interest in this though. So and now that we're past Tinley, I think that the auctions will ramp up again. I think a lot of people hold off because, for one, the breeders are going to be at Tinley, and two, the people in the nearby area kind of just want to go and go see what the Tinley's all about. So unless it's a breeder at Tinley that's got something up for auction, you don't usually see a whole bunch of action. But this one...
Oh, what the?
What happened?
Hold on. This song's not supposed to be in this playlist.
What did you do? What did you do?
Keep going. It's not a copyrighted song, don't worry about it.
Okay. What the heck was it?
It's the ones that we used during the Brian videos.
Were they sad?
Yeah, it's very sad.
Oh. Okay.
That was not supposed to be in that playlist. My apologies.
Okay. That kind of threw me off there, but yeah. Anyways, this would be very nice. I love the dark clown combos, and you can kind of see here the really nice dark head and animal here. Its contrast is very nice though. Whenever you get that, it's not just a black animal. It really highlights on the side. It's very dark where it's dark, but then pops. I really like the reduced pattern. He's kind of reminds me of what do you call it? Aliens. Not Aliens. Space Invader. They look like the aliens that come down.
Maybe.
So, but just imagine hitting the clown combo of this. It'd be very, very nice. So, now I'm going to show you why. I'm going to show you a Stranger Clown, but I I do some research
There's
here.
something up with the audio balance. I'm not sure what happened. I'm just gonna turn all of it down.
Okay.
There we go.
That's it. As I'm doing research on these, if I'd done this live, you'd seen my reactions. But I've done this in the past where I type something in and just get like a result because I forget to type ball python in, and that's what I got when I typed Stranger Clown without ball python. I don't think we can get copyrighted for that, can we? It's AI clearly as day. But I figured I'd at least include my gaff. Because it was, terrifying. But yeah, I wanted to show off some Stranger Clowns. Just to show off what you can possibly hit. This looks like a monsoon right here. It's just absolutely nuts. Stranger Hurricane Clown is really sharp. It's nuts how it almost looks like it's like pure white, kinda. Right? But like someone just dropped a bunch of dirt on it, or like it's something just burnt, like slightly burnt, and then it just becomes red near the head. Just a completely red head, really. So I guess you got a little bit of dark tanning in there. It's just really nice. Kind of reminds me of how the Woma pythons have that kind of head. Obviously it's a different color or whatnot, but it has the same feel to it. It really reminds me of that. So if you're looking to make Stranger Clowns, visual Stranger Clowns, this would be a really nice one to do that with. So also you eliminated my ability to see the chat. There we go. All right. Now on to the proven breeders or the near proven breeders, and there's a lot of them, so I'm kind of rattle through some of these and stop on maybe a few. Starting with this spot nose clown. Again, a proven breeder. A really easy way to just jump straight into Batman's. You get her. She looks like she laid eggs. She did not lay eggs this year, so you can just start. You can immediately go and pair her. Probably be ready right away for next season. So, very, very nice way to just start breeding. If you wanted to skip the line and kind of just learn without spending a whole bunch of money and being able to produce cool things. I hate the idea of someone having to right away get into it and not be able to produce something cool. Well, you can. Get yourself a leopard clown male and you can make Batmans right off the bat. So I would probably recommend getting a little bit more too. So yep. Gonna check out the comments here real quick. Have to zoom up a little bit here. Steve just got a dreamsicle and a pied het lav. Well, congratulations. You start making some yourself. Jenny caught alive when it's well, yep, welcome. Appreciate the likes there. It's Channel Strike. Oh, for the maybe, who knows though. Nice Stranger, add GHI. I love GHI. So yeah, add GHI to pretty much anything and I'm happy. Looks like my Blackhead's one of my favorite genes as well. So hi Tori. Yeah, I love the dark morphs, but that is yeah, contrast is king. That's maybe we should print shirts. $4.20. Oh, the price. I'm not gonna ask what you do in your spare time then. All right, moving along. Another proven breeder here would be this Cypress het clown girl right here. Cypress is an awesome gene. I think it's honestly I don't see enough of it. Now it's been worked more often, but you get a lot of pattern and color changes here. So the pattern, obviously you can see here, it kind of almost wants to become like how Mojave creates the keyholes, but it's not as, it doesn't bring as much lightning really to it. It more or less to me adds a little bit of some rusty oranges. So it's a different direction, but with that cool pattern. I really like the Cypress gene, and in clown especially, it's very, very nice. So here's another one that didn't lay last year, so it had the year off, or this year I should say, and could be ready for you right away. Even lower price. I like that one quite a bit, except for the fact I think the last one's a visual. Yeah, so not being a visual, but it's a female, so you can put your visual males to it and be producing some really nice things right away. So here's one that a lot of people I don't hear about I don't hear a lot of people talk about, and quite frankly some people don't even know this gene exists, and that would be sable, and this one being a super sable at that. You can definitely see right off the bat that this does not look like a normal clown in any way, shape, or form. Little bit kind of some rusty type look to it. This is an adult, mind you, though, so they they can change a little bit as they age, but it looks very nice for an adult. Got some crazy belly pattern there too. That's not something you see unless you're looking at a confusion. I won't lie that I'm not super familiar with the sable gene, but I do know a little bit about it. For one, it is actually a member of the spider gene complex. Now don't freak out if you don't want to work spider, because there's a lot that you probably don't know that's part of that complex, including, spot nose. Not every single one of them has the inner ear deformity, which that's what causes the wobble. If that's something you wanted to stay away from, you definitely just do some research on it. A lot of the super forms can be a little bit of a problem where they might cause a little bit of wobble in there. If that doesn't bother you, then so be it. But some of the super forms you must certainly be bothered by, because they can be lethal. And I'm not 100% certain on sable, but sable creates some granulation, and I love granulation. So, like I said, the super sable, you see it right there. That's what this one is. It's a super sable clown, and it's very nice. So these could potentially have a wobble. Let's see. This one is not a proven breeder, but she's 800 grams, so pretty darn close to it. You're getting right up to that wall, at least more than halfway. Yeah. Sable spiders are difficult to hatch. That I don't know, but maybe just stay away from that combo. Difficult to hatch means to me that they die. But again, there's a lot of combos when you mix that in this family you just don't want to do. That doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with it. And I can't see any indication that the singular formation of this gene has any issue. So it's a very nice one, and being a super sable, it will always pass one copy of sable on, and being a clown, it'll always pass one of its genes for clown on. So if you wanted to work something that's a little less heard of, just make sure you do your research so that you don't mix the wrong thing into it, and go for it. Because as long as you're not mixing other spider gene complexes into this without doing your research, you're good to go. And even then, some of them will be okay. You just want to be careful with what you do, and do your research. So next one would be this clown red stripe. This is a really bright one too, but you can kind of see what red stripe does as it grows older. It's kind of subtle by itself, but it's kind of subtle by itself, but it as it ages, it very nicely lightens the animal up a bit and creates kind of a rusted tone to it. So and with other combos, I like to say that anything you can shorten, like yellow belly, red stripe, so RS, YB, spot nose, SN, orange dream for OD. For some reason, all those just go together really, really well, and it's very nice that happens because it makes it helpful when you shorten the name. You don't want to say all that, so it's saying an OD, YB, SN. Nobody really says SN for it, but when I'm putting it up on something, I might. It's very nice to be able to shorten all those genes names together. This girl here is just about to size. Actually, she is proven, so she probably just laid. Yep, sure enough. So this one you would probably want to wait a little while, like 3 or 4 months before you paired her again at minimum. If you wanted, you could probably give her a little while to, bulk back up to. But red stripe clowns are really nice. I have one here, and there's actually some differences too. Like mine's a little bit darker rusty. So you could definitely fool me and tell me that like pastel or fire, especially fire, was in this, fire vanilla. So another one, this one I think is probably one of the better ones that's up right now. Lace yellow belly head clown. This is really nice. Lace is a really good gene that's very subtle, and so is yellow belly. So this is basically just a lace yellow belly, and with each other, these two subtle genes, you can already see a pretty big difference in what a normal would be. It's already brighter. There's a whole bunch of blushing. There's these parts of the animal that just seem to just shine out of nowhere. Like you've got your regular pattern, and then it just shines out of nowhere. And that's certainly the two of those genes tag teaming. But I want you to see what is underneath this sort of what the potential you could hit with this. And this is some of the stuff you can do with lace. It's absolutely nuts. Try to find one here. I think there's one here with yellow belly. There it is. Inch of yellow belly white lace. It's just, they're electric. They're so bright. And we're definitely going to be showing off Canova's examples today because he makes it very easy. It's a cypress yellow belly white lace het clown. It already looks that nice. So you hit the visual version of this and it's even better. And I think, is that the visual version down there? I don't know. Or is that the next snake he shows here? Oh no, that's not with yellow belly. But they work quite well together. It's very nice. It's not showing. It's not playing the sound through that, is it? It's not playing the sound of the video through there, is it?
It can't.
Okay. All right. Good. So, but very, like I said, lace clown is just so cool. The you look at this, and I think it's nice, but I see this, then I see this. If that makes sense. It's what you can do with it down the line. And like I said, this is a white lace, which is 2 copies of it. The lace gene, that is. So very cool. Moving right along to this spot nose yellow belly Enchi clown. Another one there that proven breeder. I'm surprised that this one's more, probably because it's just a head. Either way, I see there's more potential in the lace, quite frankly. But yellow belly and Enchi also go quite well together, as does spot nose. This is a big girl right here, proven breeder at that. Actually, it doesn't say proven, and he put it on the other ones. Either way, it's the size, and being that big, I would imagine it can be paired pretty much immediately. So another one that if you wanted to jump into a certain project right away, this would be a really nice one to do. Spot nose and yellow belly are really good with regardless of what direction you go. And she complements it quite well. Of course, it does brighten it. You're kind of moving now at this point in a direction of a more bright animal because of all this. But there's not so much that you can't overcome it with a lot of other darker genes. If you wanted that, like if you wanted to put black head or black pastel into this, you'd probably want to, ironically pray that you don't hit the Enchi in certain combos because they, that would kind of brighten it up a little too much for my liking anyways, personally. But there's just one gene that you're just kind of, rooting against, I guess, in that situation. Not that you have to like my particular tastes anyways, but I think that this still is a really nice animal if you want to go the dark route, which you can see my preferences. But if you want to go the light route, snakes, well, then by all means, throw banana into this and have a lot of fun, because it will look incredible. All right. Canova's always got the craziest ball. Yeah, you bet it. Seeing them at the show is always really nice too, because when you see them in person at the Tinley show, what he brings, it's so incredible. They're always a highlight. We always we film the whole walkthrough, by the way. It'll be out Saturday?
I hope so.
Okay, he hopes so. It's a lot to go through. It's a whole lot to go through. And it's, like I said, it's not for the faint of heart. I mean, this is something that maybe you throw on at the end of the night and fall asleep to. We'll have some music playing in there too. So, but if you want to go to Tinley, but you couldn't go to Tinley, this is how you go to Tinley. And you can see all those cool snakes with Canova. And if you just want to skip straight to it and don't want to go through that whole 4 or so hour video, well, good news is we'll have tags on it, so you can just click and.
Kind of. It'll probably be a Google document of some sort.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe you can't put the tags on it, so they can just click. I thought we did that in the past.
You're limited to 5,000 characters, and it's going to overshoot it by like over 1,000.
We'll do our best on that one, but if not, we'll have the Google Docs so that you can just click and just skip right to where you need to go. So, yeah, they're so big that sometimes it just becomes hard to do. So, let's see. What I was about to say, isn't Spotnose part of the spider complex? Yep, you got it. But Spotnose is one of the easier ones to work with. No real issues there. Sometimes I think the Super Spotnose the Powerball, it's known to have a little bit of the wobble type thing too. But interestingly enough, I've now basically come to the conclusion just from hearing from other breeders and whatnot that Blackhead has to be part of the spider complex too. But it's weird. It's almost like it's the cure-all. I've heard many people, many big breeders tell me now that if you put Blackhead and Spider together, and the two of them, you hit on both of them, you get what looks to be an exactly normal snake, which cures the wobble. Isn't that weird? That's so incredible. So, yeah, I don't know how to explain it, but it doesn't look any different. So I don't know what the point is. It's just interesting. Genetics is really, really interesting, so. Does anything in the spider complex have a bit of wobble or the possibility to have a wobble? Well, I'd say some of them do, but not all of them. And to different varying degrees. Like, I don't see it at all in just singular copies of Spotnose. Some people I've heard say maybe a little, but not really. There's many of them that don't, but then there's others that might have a slight little bit. I've heard champagnes can have a teeny bit of it. So, other than that, Spider is the one that gets most of the, most of the hate, or however you want to say, most of the ire, for having the wobble and whatnot. But like I said, it's an inner ear deformity, not a neurological thing. So, condoms. Oh, Codoms. That's good. Nice one. I'm like, what in the world am I reading here? That's a good one. Thank you for that. All right, moving right along. I had to click this one for one, it's part of the Sterling Nelson ones, but it had me. I didn't know anything about this. So this is a Spotnose special Baker clown, and for our 420 friend, he might like this. No, I'm just kidding. So Special Baker is a line of special. So it's that's simple as that. I kind of researched it here. Sorry for the it's kind of abrupt look of this one, but it's NOCO line. So they actually show up to the Tinley show as well. They have a pastel line, I believe that's them. And Special is an enhancing type gene, so it just really kind of cleans things up and whatnot. So it's just considered a polygenic form of the Special gene, is what I would probably say. It's just like an extraordinary example, or so we think, because we used to think that Black Pastel also had a special polygenic form, and we called that Barnhart Black Pastel. But, well, it turns out that is actually been genetically proven to be its own gene, really, but it's exactly in the same complex, and it's allelic. So for the longest time, like, how would we know unless we look at it on an allelic level, a scientific level? And don't ask me to talk about that. I would turn you to RGI, to look at that sort of stuff. But it is fascinating to learn that basically it's its own thing, really. So that could eventually be proven to be that way, but I don't think that's the case in this case. I think it really is just a more extraordinary example. Anywho, let's talk about the actual snake and what it can do for you. Spotnose, we've already talked about many times. It's an incredible gene, especially in clown. Just very, very, very nice. Special clowns are, well, they're named quite appropriately. They're very special. What are you doing?
Zooming it in.
Here, I can just click it.
Oh. I
There
don't
we
want to
go.
distract you.
Yes. Well, It really just adds a nice little layer to everything, and starts to make the animal come together. If you don't believe me, let's see if I can't look it up real quick. I'm gonna do it over here. Just, you never know what I end up typing. The Pompeii, everybody should know what that looks like. But there is the special, one of the first animals that really changed the way the Pompeii looked, is JSA reptiles, and that was with the special Pompeii, and it looked very, very different. So let's go ahead and take a look. It looks like it's a slideshow what I'm looking at right now, but it really just lightened it up and brought these nice like lava like oranges in, and created the pattern to be like a neon like yellow. It remains to this day my favorite version of the Pompeii. Obviously the original Pompeii is glorious, and that I feel like it could be just my original, one of my second favorites, but the special Pompeii remains my favorite Pompeii that I've ever seen to this day. So very, very beautiful animal. But that's what special can do for you, and it changed the Pompeii to you know, it effectively is the same pattern and whatnot, but it just brought in a different level of contrast. And you'd think that for something like that, like light, the kind of gene that lightens things up, might not be good, but it proved wrong here. It was very, very nice. All right, get all this stuff out of the way. There we go. But yeah, that's the sort of stuff I'm talking about. And Pompeii, by the way, one of the ingredients is spot nose. So you're missing 3 genes here. You're missing the black pastel, you're missing the red stripe, and you are missing, what am I missing? Yellow belly. You're missing yellow belly as well. And then you'd have that special Pompeii if you had those 3 genes added into what you're looking at here. So just something to think about, if that's the sort of, because even if you go that route and you miss, you're still going to hit on really nice things. So something to think about for sure. Okay. And then this might be the last one from Sterling Nelson. This redhead spot nose het clown. Now, this is a boy, and I say it all the time that you definitely would prefer to have your males have a have the visual in them, no doubt. But there's 2 different things here. For one, I always talk about, using an animal to get a specific gene into your collection, hitting on it, and then, moving on from them, giving someone else the opportunity to do the exact same thing. And redhead is what I'm talking about here. The fact that it has spot nose along for the ride, it's just an extra oomph. It's an extra thing. What else makes this a nice, ideal thing is that this is a proven breeder male. That's the size. He's ready to go. He's actually really big for a male. So you can immediately start using him. So you don't got to wait for him to grow up. You can immediately start using him, breed him into your collection for literally a season if you really want to get your visual redhead, hopefully redhead spot nose, with a lot of other cool things, like clowns. And then when you hit that, move on from him. Do the same thing, throw him right back up here. You see he's going for a good amount. You're probably going to get your money close to back. And now you've added redhead into your collection. It's an effective way to do things. Well, I shouldn't say completely effective, because obviously, you are slotting another male out to do that, and usually you'd be slotting a visual clown out. So now you're not going to get as good of odds to hit the clown. But if you need to add, redhead, for not an insane price, that would be a nice way to do it. And just to show you another mistake I made when I typed redhead clown in. Yep. So you have to experience my horror too. I don't care for clowns. Yes, wanted to show you actually our footage of some redhead clowns. Oops. This is from the Schaumburg show. And they are very, very nice. They're just like this beautiful, like Halloweenish orangish type coloring. It's incredible what what colors you can get out of that. And this is just the tip of the iceberg, quite frankly. Redhead has a lot of potential. Another gene that's very subtle, again, by itself, but just makes all the difference in the world when you stack them on top of each other. So that's not a redhead clown, but it's very beautiful. Alrighty. Before we move on, I'm gonna go ahead and look at the comments again. I probably missed a whole bunch. Ooh, I need a clown, het pied, het lav, female. Well, then you're going for the Holy Grail, then, no doubt, and that's a good one to go for. I believe I saw that on here last week. I think so. Either way, I have seen those on the auctions. If you can do the double het with one visual, I have seen some of those. So, yeah, I believe you're saying that's insane about the special Pompeii, and yep, 100%. So, did Canova just get really lucky with line breeding? I always wondered how their snakes look so good. He's been doing that for quite a while, and I think that just when he got into it, I mean, he studied some of this sort of stuff too. He talked to the right people. He did all the right things, and he learned from what mistakes he made. So he kind of just has a obsession with excellence in terms of that stuff. I mean, you could always say luck, but it did some part of it, obviously, if you hit certain combos. But he made a name for himself and was able to cash in on certain early combos and reinvest that into it. And just he's always had a really good mind for looking for this stuff. So, what did you pick up from Tinley? I know you can pass on all them on the head. Well, we're gonna actually I think we might do a full pickup, but I actually didn't get a whole bunch from Tinley this year. I got some supplies. I added to a male / holdback rack. So I went a little bit more up. I can build up on that, just a few, well, 4 to be exact. I did get 2 animals, right? That was it. And one of them was not ball python. It wasn't even a snake. So we might we'll probably show them off. One of them I can't believe I lucked into. I would never thought I would have gotten something in that, but I kind of want to save that for another time, because we're gonna talk about, we're gonna do like either a whole thing on it. I don't know if we will, or we'll just mention it in one of our other videos. Maybe the top 5 snakes or the top 5 reptiles. We might tack it into there, honestly, because I'm happy with what I got. I'm very, very happy. So. I did almost get a monarch though. They had one in an auction, and I was walking on the side of it, and I was kind of behind the stage in a way, kind of tucked in behind the stage. It's loud in there, and they had one up for auction, and I'm like raising my hand for it. I would have gone pretty deep on that one, but they couldn't see me, so that kind of sucked. But you know, things happen. So bumblebee ball pipe. Where'd it go? I scrolled down. Oh, what's in the bumblebee morphs? Yep, that is part of one of the spider morphs. It's very beautiful. Yeah, I think it's spider pastel. But these days they're not as popular just because of the everybody kind of shying away from the spider these days. But that doesn't mean by any means, if you love it, that you should do the same. I think that's a personal decision, quite frankly, that people want to get into. They're very beautiful. Spiders were very, very popular, and bumblebees were very, very popular for a long time. And they were for a very good reason. So, to each their own. I have a bumblebee, double het, albino clown, possibly het pie. That'd be some power, regardless of what we just talked about. So, is the Discord up yet? Oh, yeah. So, that must have been you. Yeah. So I think it was, actually, now that I think about it, yes, he reached out to me on social media. Now I remember, yes, and that was just like, that's actually a good idea. So, just kind of create a Discord, whether we pop in, people can kind of talk to each other and whatnot. And I think it's a good idea. I never actually mentioned it to my brother yet, because he's probably the one that does it.
And I know someone that knows how to do servers. To an extent.
So yeah. So yes, not up yet, but thank you for saying something so that I could tell the guy right now. So Mine is just a pet, not breeding her because of neurological issues from the spiders. It's actually not a neurological issue. It's it's an inner ear deformity. This is what they're saying now. Not that it says, that it's, that might not make it better for you, but it's not like a brain, thing. It's not like they have brain damage or anything like that. It's more or less that they just have balance issues. So I notice if they're in tubs, it makes no difference at all because they can't really start moving their heads up to have the issue. Sometimes people, might think that might make them change their mind since it's an ear issue, but it's whether people want to breed it or not, it's no skin off my back. I think I've said many times that I'm a big proponent in doing if people believe and want to do that, and if they're passionate about it, you can go for it. Be realistic about the prices you're going to get on spiders though, because it's not a lot, quite frankly. But if you love it, then who cares about the price? But also be knowledgeable on what issues they do have, including the breeding amongst the spider family, which can be a big no-no in some cases. And I'm not sure if you were here before, but actually we mentioned that. I saw the next comment from Steve there said blackhead, but if you put blackhead into that, ironically, it cures it, but then it makes it look like a normal snake. It's kind of weird. But yeah, just some cool knowledge there that we're always learning. Not everything we thought was true ends up being true. Everybody thought it was neurological. It's an ear deficiency. So, let's see. Favorite one is honestly my Blade Fire Clown. I know people put down on Blade, but he's amazing. I wouldn't say people put down on it, but I do understand what you're saying. There's a lot of confusion about the Blade gene. Is it even a gene? Is it just, is it something? So a lot of people say, is it married to clown? And then I hear a lot of people say, heck, it's just Enchi. I don't know. I won't lie. I don't know. I've kind of given up on that, on learning everything about it. So yeah, but it's, honestly, I think that, that it is, it's definitely something. Let's just put it that way. There's something at play there, whether it's Enchi or if it is actually married to the clown gene. It'd be interesting, and I'd love to see someday, if RGI can take a look at that and figure that all out. Maybe they've actually already talked about it at some point. Maybe we can get an answer on that. Watch Cano video last night. He said he keeps like 3 groups for each morph he's trying to make. Yeah, he has a whole facility. Like his facility is like probably like 5 times the size of my home, if not more. Quite frankly, it's like a gigantic built. It's not like a converted thing. Like, we found a barn, let's convert it. He built it specifically for the purpose of breeding ball pythons. So he has now put himself to a position. I stepped on this and something turned on, by the way. I just want to make sure I didn't mute anything. But yeah, he's put himself into a position to just keep creating a bunch of beautiful animals. So, how long have you been breeding ball pythons? I think it started in 2019 that I've been breeding them. Now, the channel and the business started at roughly the exact same time. In fact, if you watch my first video,
The channel didn't. Channel started in March 2022.
But I was still debating the name at the time. But I had the channel named at that and everything like that. But the name of the business, I was like, I think I'm gonna stick with Rhinos Royals. But I was very dry in that video. I was just like, I didn't know what was gonna happen. I was kind of just made YouTube as an avenue to kind of show off animals and get my name out there in terms of just trustability, like a marketing thing. And then it kind of became a little more. So. But yeah, it's been a whole bunch of fun, learning and growing. Year after year is just more and more. It's a lot of fun. It's for sure a lot of fun. But it doesn't happen overnight. Like I'm nowhere near where I want to be. I have so many cool plans, but I don't have the space that Justin has. So. I kind of gotta get a little careful and specialize a little more. That's why I kind of really love the Monarch and stuff like that. And there's a few other things I want to get too. There's specifically one gene that I have my eyes on, that I'm going to get. I'm thinking in March, and that's my number one target right now. So, let's see, Solanite, ball pythons, dwarfs, and COVID happened. I'm trying to go back ever since. Well, I wouldn't say you're stupid. I mean, that was a weird time, so I can definitely understand, that sort of move. People thinking that things are going to change. The irony is that it actually ended up blowing up. People got all this COVID money shortly after, and they flooded the market, and a lot of people popped up. I'd say a lot of people are now, kind of on the downswing of it because they bought all these snakes with the COVID money, and now, they go to breed, and then there's a billion of them out there. So, I think that in a way, though, kind of resetting around that time might have actually been a blessing in disguise if you really think about it, though, because the market has very much shifted to it was already kind of going that way, to a recessive type game towards specialization of stacking these things. But if you're just thinking about it from a monetary value, which I never suggest completely doing about it, but it is a valid thing to think about as monetary value, which is making money. If you just stack gene after gene after gene after gene, that was kind of the thing, just making a ton of animals with a ton of genes. Didn't matter what, just throw them out there, just pump them out, and then money, money, money. That is not the case anymore. That is not the case anymore. And creating exceptional examples of animals is now what the idea is. So if you retool and get back into it with different ones, that might be the ideal way. If so. Funny you mentioned the Kraken.
Does that
We'll
thing
get to that,
show you
though.
messages that have been withheld?
I have no idea. So
I don't think it does. Steve earlier said I'll braid my banana itchy spider to a female blackhead. For some reason, YouTube thought that was inappropriate.
okay. Yeah, I don't understand. That'd be cool. Yeah, if you do, I'd love to hear about it. See what you got. So I don't know why YouTube decided to say that was bad. So all right, let's go ahead and keep moving along here. With this, there is another Sterling Nelson. Again, a lot of these end. Let's refresh this one. I don't know if it's been ticking down. Okay, no, it has. Hour and 9 minutes. So a Wookiee Black Pastel, 66% head clown. This is another one. I don't know if this one's proven. It doesn't quite look like it. It doesn't say proven. He put proven on his other ones. So definitely you could send a shed test in on this, unless it gets the size super duper quick for you. Because a Wookiee Black Pastel is like I said, funny you mentioned the Kraken, because that's where I'm going with this. Because Wookiee is about the biggest key ingredient in this. It's a clown Wookiee. I'm trying to remember all of them. I think Yellow Belly. I believe at one point they found Mojave, but I don't think that's in there anymore. But there's a lot of cool examples of these now. There's been like 3 different versions of the Kraken, and that is just one of the more cool snakes that's ever been created. To me, it rivals the Pompeii. I think I like the Pompeii a little more. Chair just freaked out there. But I think I like the Pompeii a little bit more. But there's things to be said about this too, with its nice like gray undertone. Just absolutely beautiful animal. And that's kind of where I think, like, again, this is me thinking outside the box when I look at this sort of thing. And you can, in a way, you can kind of see it, right? Other than the clown and the grays, you can kind of see those little suction cups starting. That's what I'm thinking here. I'm thinking, if this proves out as head clown, that's the direction I go all day long. And again, another very close to breed animal. You can send the shed test in, and find out right away. And then that can affect your breeding, directions with that one. It'd still be a cool one, even as a double, or not a double recessive, as having Wookiee and Black Pastel, basically. But I immediately want to work this into clown. That's my direction right off the bat. So, yeah, it's a very nice snake for Halloween. This is another stranger clown. We did talk about the stranger earlier, but I just wanted to highlight it just because, you know, it's not a. I think the other one was a proven breeder that we looked at, right? Or very close to it. This one's going to be quite, you know, probably a little bit cheaper. Actually, was it a proven breeder? I think it was near the beginning. Oh no, it was not. It was this one here. But you know, just as a, you know, if you wanted to work that project, this could be the next one that you go for, quite frankly. You know, there's not as many genes in there, and again, that's not a visual, but it is a girl, so you get yourself a visual male boy, and you start putting things into him, like yellow belly. You know, you try to get that, you know, this combo right here would be very, very nice. So, you know, so you put the male to that with those. So nothing crazy that we haven't already talked about, but just another example of one that's a little, you know, ways off from the one we looked at here, which ends in literally 15 minutes. So if you were in on this one, you know, act fast. I think that was the first one we showed. Yeah. But if you miss out on it, this could be the one. Or, heck, if you want to get both, you know, kind of shore up a stranger clown project, that'd be a really nice one. And it doesn't look like they're going for an absolutely nutty amount. So all you need is a visual male clown to start. So, and yep, they have a monarch. This is a big old boy. It's got pastel in it. Pastel works pretty well with monarch, though. As you can see, it lightens it up. It's not the direction I like going with monarch. I like the darker monarchs, quite frankly, because I like this right here, what you're seeing with the mouse. I'm kind of going over. I like that to be that dang near mahogany, like purple nearly. This still is very, very beautiful, and it does it well because monarch cleans up the animal on top of you know, brightening it up and creating these beautiful colors, these rich colors. Or I said brightening it up, but either way, the pastel would brighten it up, but it controls that. It's almost like it's got a small dose of Desert Ghost along with Monarch, which is why I absolutely love it. So this one does have a reserve. I don't know what that reserve will be, but you know, I would imagine it probably falling off probably around the 1,000 mark, if I had to guess. But again, like I always say, kind of walk it up that way if you were interested in it. It's a really good price right now. But I imagine that if I had to guess, it'll fall off around that mark, the 1,000 mark. Okay. Got another red stripe here, but it is a red stripe clown het hypo girl. So really cool project to work if you want to work the clown hypos. And I think the next few we have are going to be some hypo type stuff. So red stripe, we've already talked about what that can do, and I'm going to show you later what red stripe, which is a subtle gene, can look like well, when you stack it in itself, aka the super version. So you know, stay tuned for that coming up here in a bit. But that is, you know, there's a lot of different directions to go in a project like this, but obviously you want to marry it with hypo. So with that being said, you know, obviously this is a piebald, but if you wanted to work the clown version, this is a hypo pied, and you can kind of see this really nice well, I wouldn't say distortion, but kind of the muddying of the color, but not in a bad way. It kind of creates this almost like a Van Gogh type like coloring pattern to it. Very, very nice. This is a proven braider too. And here's another one. So if you wanted to work that project, they're both in the same breeder right there. You have 2 chances to get a male that's ready to go. Looks like they're not proven, but they're ready to breed. So these would be ones that you would bring on board, and maybe, you know, after a quarantine or whatnot, you know, throw them in there with a female pretty quickly, honestly. So let's see, I thought I had a female up here. Maybe not. So either way, some nice hypo examples that we just looked at here, just in different genes. Obviously this is not a hypo, but you can imagine what it would look like with that, especially when you put in some nice other genetics in there. Another great one, you know, red stripe with spot nose or yellow belly are always good. Always good to go to those ones. So before we move on, I gotta look at the comments again. Let me get my snake rat. It's my excuse to get more ball python within reason. yeah, trust me. But I just got that's one thing I will say I got from Tinley was another, not a full rack, but just to add on to another one, stacking upwards. But I have to keep those for my grow outs and for males. So that's what that's for. I'm not, other than one animal I have my eye on, I really need to. I have to control myself. If I don't, then I have to move on from other animals. It's as simple as that, which is inevitable. But at this point, I'm kind of in a hold back type feel. I need to start holding some of the ones back for certain projects that I'm working, and I'm gonna have to have a home for them as they grow. So that's kind of why I need that. So I'm on level 3 now. My female tomorrow. Oh yeah. Oh, that one I think you mentioned earlier. Yeah. Very cool. Hi, Phoenix Arts. Oh, level 3 Morphmarket. That's what you're talking about. Okay. I don't really pay too much attention to the levels on there. Obviously, you look at the ratings for a seller and you take it into account. Because everybody, you can always get some person that's just didn't like their experience. You don't go for some. Don't freak out if you don't get a perfect rating on somebody. There's plenty of just quality breeders that don't have perfect ratings. You get one person. Trust me, I worked retail for a very long time. There's always going to be someone who complains or didn't get something they wanted exactly the way they wanted. So, but yeah, should be higher. Some buyers didn't say I bought their animals. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. But yeah, kind of just what I said. Sometimes people they just don't mesh well, and then that happens. So there is. Pennywise is. What the heck? I don't know. I have a snake called Pennywise here. Actually, it's because it's actually one of my only spiders that I do have. It's a spider clown, so I had to name it. It's Pennywise. Even though I said I don't like clowns. See, it's like a love-hate thing. Like I don't like clowns, but I very much love like Halloween and scary things. So there's an extent that I can tolerate it. It's usually a lot of like the horror clown things though. Usually I just don't like them. So, but all right. Anyways, back to actual snakes. With this black pastel banana clown pair. This would be a great one, again, for someone who is getting into this and wants to create cool things, but on a budget. This one's got under a day left, so it'll end sometime midday tomorrow, I think. And this would be a really nice one to grow out and create some really cool banana clowns. They're both visuals, so you're getting clowns when you breed this. And the black pastel clown is the male, and the banana clown is the female. And that's really good because then that means that you don't have the... If nobody knows, bananas are a very, very beautiful gene, but they are weird when it comes to how they reproduce in terms of their genetic the skew. So normally you get a 50-50 shot, right? Male, female. Not always the case with banana though. Somehow the banana gene itself, that beautiful gene you see right there, has paired itself right on top of the sex chromosome. I don't know why. I don't know any of that stuff. It's fascinating. But the females, they don't have any of that. So they can produce males and females. So that's what's cool about this. They produce males and females. The males, however, they can be either male makers, which means that unless you have an anomaly, 95% of all of the bananas you hit are going to be male. So pretty much all of them, like almost all the time. And then everything that is not a banana will be female. It's weird, but I've done these pairings time and time again, and it has always been the case. Every single banana is a male, in the case where I have a male maker, and every single non-banana has been a female. Makes it really easy when you're doing the and you're sexing the snake. Not that popping is that big of a thing for me, anyways, anymore. But alternatively, you can actually get a female maker banana, and they produce the exact opposite. So it's mostly females and only incredibly rarely a male. But being a female clown, she's going to do both, so it's going to act like normal, like nothing goofy happened. This would be really cool because black pastel banana clowns are just chef's kiss. They're beautiful. And banana clowns are what got a lot of people into this. I know it was for me. When I first saw my first banana clown, I was like, they were expensive at the time. It was like a banana inchy clown I saw on Garrett DeMeyer's channel on Royal Constrictor. He's I saw that and I was like, I want that. And then I saw the price and I was like, I'll make that. So they still to this day are beautiful, and they always sell, and they always will, because look at it. It's extraordinary. So this would be a really nice one as a starter, because it will always sell. You know, when there's certain combos out there that are just never not going to sell. Bananas, highways and freeways, these bells, they will always sell. Even if it's just for a pet quality, they'll always sell, and they'll sell decent because they're extraordinary. You know, sometimes it's just keep it simple, and it's beautiful. So, yep, nice pair to get started. Absolutely. I have a male and female banana male. There's a male maker, females, female. Female will do both. So, if you breed them together and you get the super. We did a video on that, and at the time I did the research. If you want to check out our video on it, that's what I'd recommend. But from memory right now, I'm not going to pretend that I can remember how your genetics would turn out in that. I would be a liar if I told you otherwise. But I do believe you can get a mix from that. I do believe it will create mixes if memory serves correct, but I just don't want to say, yeah, absolutely. Price challenges you do are really cool. Thank you. It's fun. It's fun seeing me get frustrated, I think. I've been told that before. We're probably going to do one again pretty soon. I think our biggest topic right now for a video to get, other than getting through these Tinley ones, that's a big thing right now, is getting a lot of Tinley content. The next thing we're really probably going to film, that we don't already have filmed or whatnot, is our Halloween special. So we talked last night. I think we're squaring down on our idea of how we do that, because it's weird, because I have to kind of have a script for that, because we have a corny horror like thing going on in the background of something that we're actually going to teach you in it. And this one will be a little more different. You know, I'm not a big proponent of showing feedings, and I'm not going to do a live feeding. I won't do that. I'm not going to get the easy clicks, sorry, but maybe it'll be a non-live, and it won't be quite just showing a feeding. There's going to be an educational component to this, obviously. So that's all I'll say for now. But definitely check it out. Other than our Tinley video, we really love doing those. It's more just like a fun thing. So yeah. I hate being late. Well, better late than never, though, right? But yeah, if you want to find that video on the bananas that we did, if you just rip Randall's Rolls banana, I think, well, you might get it. We did some banana egg cuttings though too. So can you link it?
Some of you are referring to
the genetic one, yeah.
Pilot.
Yeah. So in the meantime, like I said, we'll just end it on this. This is great. This right here is great. The price is super nice, and remember, you're getting 2 snakes here. You know, again, maybe, you know, you keep the female eventually and move on from the male, because the female will always be useful being a female banana clown. This price is really good. It's really good, because you keep the female forever. You hit the combo of the double, and, you know, move on from it from there. So, oh, it looks like we loaded it. So, there we go. But yeah, I'm going to move on from this one right now to a really, really cool opportunity. Being this pair of triple het monarch clown pied. Now, I could not find if this is a male and a female. It does not say, it just says, it does show the sex for female under the symbol. So maybe they're both females. Personally, in my collection, that's what I'd want. So I actually plan to message Brock Wagner and ask, because if so, I'm very much interested. I've created het monarch pieds, and I've created het monarch clown doubles, that is. But I haven't created the triple. So, you know, if I get 2 females from that, you know, you can pair them together, and then you test for the clown of the pied if you didn't hit it. And then you keep those ones, and then you breed them together the next time, when, you know, hopefully getting as many visuals as you can, and then poof. That's my thought process. So I plan to message Brock, you know, if these are 2 even if they are a male and a female, so that would still be really cool. And the pairing was a monarch male to a clown pied female, so obviously it must be a triple head. So very cool, very cool animal. And if you don't believe me, I actually have examples. I brought receipts. So this is a monarch clown. It's just absolutely gorgeous. This is the snake that made me absolutely fall in love with this. It is spot nose as well, and it might be red stripe, but it is undeniably beautiful. And the argument that is like a like almost like a bruised, like purple. I don't even think it's an argument. It is. This is the animal that made me say, "Holy crap!" A monarch is 100% for me. To me, it's probably one of the best animals I've ever seen in my life. I don't know why it randomly said the Monpei there. Oh, I think I remember he was talking about potentially making the monarch Pompeii, which that would be probably the most insane animal I think I've ever seen in my life. But then I wanted to show the monarch pied, and this is a mahogany yellow belly one too. But he did have just a regular one he showed off too. It's a very high pattern, but that is a pied. I can promise you that. That's just with no genes, and it's still that's incredible. Very high pattern on this one here, and we're talking about the one over here on the right. This one had fire in it too. You can see how it lightened it up. I prefer the dark one, the one without the fire, quite frankly. I have a chance to make both of these actually in 2 or 3 years, so look forward to that for sure. But that's what I'm thinking. Now you saw that right there, these beautiful animals right here. Now merge them together, and what? Yeah, that is what you have a potential to make with this right here. Is and I'm pretty certain it's never been made before. By the way, if you are in a monarch like me, look at the Europeans, and see what they've done with monarch. They are far ahead of what we are doing in the States right now. So I know we had somebody from the Netherlands, I think, when we first started. Maybe they know, but they are way ahead of us in the monarch combos. Still a very unscratched and untapped market, but they are for sure leading it. So maybe it's been done there, but I don't think I've seen anything with that. So, but that's what this could potentially do. I know I plan to message Brett probably right after this video. Maybe just ask a question. Say, hey, are these? Didn't really say, are they both female? I'm assuming one's a male and one's a female. It says make monarch clown pieds from these. And if you just buy the 2 of them, how would you do that unless you have a male? That is also. But yeah, for most people, that would be what you want, is a male and a female. For me, I just want 2 females. But I don't, either way, it's a beautiful, it's a wonderful opportunity for somebody to do. Moving on to this blackhead phantom clown, and I know everybody knows I love the blackhead gene, and this is a really cool animal. It's like a shaded, darker animal. It's not quite just dark. It's like a cloudy type look almost, but then the head has these nice oranges. It's been almost completely pattern has been almost completely taken out. You just have these subtle little oranges right there. And that's it. Really cool animal. For a male. And we didn't even talk about the phantom. Is not a gene I am incredibly familiar with. I probably should have come with some receipts on that one. So let's do some look here. I'm not gonna look up phantom. Expect to find a ball python now. I know I've talked about phantom, but I'm just trying to remember specifically. Alright, cool. Got the trait here. So let's explore together. lots of keyholing, it looks like. Some floating pattern here. Maybe even a little bit of granulation there. It is described, the body of it, anyways, is having little amounts of blushing, flaming coming up. Yeah, you can see that definitely right there. Keyholes, which is something I mentioned right there. Triangular alien heads. And I'm kind of seeing a little granulation. It could just be that example though. So yeah, this one doesn't have as much granulation, but you do see that pattern. So lots of it here. Holy cow. That's a really cool example right there. Yeah, like floating. I think so. But yeah, that's the sort of thing that you're flirting with. And I've always said that, you know, if you get a gene on your table that some people have to ask a question about, you know, like Phantom. It's like, what's Phantom? It's a conversation starter, and it doesn't hurt that it's a beautiful example too. So you have all of this, you know, this pattern just kind of zigzagging along the side of it. Another one that kind of looks Halloweeny in a way, right? So very cool one here. Being in a male, you needed to plug into your project specifically, but I love blackhead clowns and blackhead the gene in general, so I think that this would be a really cool one to add if it's something that you if it's a project, I should say, that you want to go towards. You know, you'd really want to obviously be able to breed blackhead into a lot of things, and Phantom, you know, to go this route to have the male that way. But I think it's cool. So yeah, somebody says Steve says super blackhead. Yeah, absolutely, you can go that route. So let's see. Moving along to this Cypress GHI clown. Holy cow, that jumped up since the last time I seen it. Well, we're still going to talk about it, but that was not 1500, I don't think, when I first looked at it. Maybe I'm wrong. It says a day ago. That's a jump. They really want that one. Sometimes you always wonder if it could be a mistake bid, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't know about that one. But let's just talk about the animal regardless. We're already here, right? We talked about Cypress earlier and what it can do, and how I always love pairing it with clown. And this is why. You know, GHI is also one of my absolute favorites. Look at the beautiful. I wish there was a better side picture, but you can see it right here. It's like a ghostly white. Almost doesn't look real, right? It looks like it's like underdeveloped picture along the side of it. It's just like, oh, this picture got undeveloped. Like if you're from my area where you actually have to develop photos, it kind of just looks that way. It looks like it's underdeveloped or had some sun damage or something like that to it. But then it just, the pattern and the coloring just suddenly just burst onto the scene. And I think that's awesome. Whenever you have a snake, this is always a recipe for beauty. Whenever you have a snake that starts off whitewashed, like a white wall like type look like that, and then either fades or abruptly changes into a dark tone. Like somebody said earlier, contrast is king. Maybe that's what we coined that, because that's, I say it all the time anyways. And that is what you're getting here, because you're getting a very nice ghostly white, like almost like this thing slithered. There's some white paint on its way to you, and then a dark top of the animal with a beautiful orange head, and some really nice shading in there. So the GHI and Cypress work wonderful in this animal. Again, I don't know about that though. You could find Cypress GHI clowns for, well, not that. So the idea still remains though. This is awesome. This is an amazing animal. So maybe keep an eye on this one though. Sometimes I've heard that they can undo a bad bid if that was the case. I just find it hard to believe that it went from 200 to 1500. It's kind of sus. All right, moving right along to this black pastel red strip clown. I think we had already talked about this, but this in a female. But regardless, we're gonna do it again. You know, we talk about it a lot. It might sound like a broken record, saying, you know, that the Pompeii, which you're 2 ingredients away from the Pompeii here. You're looking at yellow belly and spot nose. Those are your Pompeii right there. So if that's the route you want to go, that's completely valid. But there's plenty of other ways you can go about this too. We just showed Cypress, right? GHI, they would work very, very well with this too. Or one of the ones I already mentioned and love, Blackhead. work really great with this sort of stuff. That one would be great. It's being in a female at that. She's gonna put some pretty nice power. Again, there's not a big price tag here. It's still got some time, roughly 2 days, just under. But there's not a lot of interest yet. Not at all. It's like 3 different buyers there. Kind of just floating a little bit on there, just to probably stick around. So, yeah, this one would be very, very nice. So, all right, look at the comments real quick before we continue, because we are on to our final 5. Those jeans, that's cool as heck. I like to see it as an adult, but it holds and doesn't fade out. If you're talking about this one, it's, you know, of course it's tough to say, but you know, I definitely think it'll age well, regardless of how it changes. So, is Blackhead and Black Pastel, like, I don't think so. I do not believe so, because I believe that since Blackhead is proven now to be in the Spider Complex gene, I don't believe Black Pastel is allelic with it, though. I could be wrong. We have the internet. Let's check. Allelic. Let's look. No, I don't believe so. Nope. Not from what I'm seeing. Which in a way is a good thing, honestly, because you know, then like it's cool when they are allelic. It makes certain things possible, but it can prevent other abilities to, you know, to breed animals and whatnot. So, let's see, if I only had a snake rack, and I have to worry about family members saying no. Well, I mean, tubs can fit underneath of beds. That's all I'm saying, and they can, you know, that's basically what that is. Obviously, not suggesting you do anything against what your family says, though. So, alrighty, all right, down to our final 5. Starting with this male Stranger Pastel, 100% het clown and ghost. Being a double het for male is not ideal. But maybe it is for your price range if you want to get into Stranger. And I wanted to show off a Stranger Pastel because they look really nice, and this is a really good example of it. Stranger is a really cool gene. For a little while, you know, I wasn't 100% on board. There's other ones, but yeah, you know, I thought maybe the price was, you know, it was nuts for not even that long ago. Was it 2-3 years ago? They're still going for $2,000. It ain't that way anymore. It still holds a nice value, and it does a lot. Lots of shading, lots of dark coloring, and these almost creepy type looks in some cases. I mean, you look at this; it just looks like little ghosts, kind of like wailing. It's really cool. And like I said, for it to be able to do something like that with pastel. Which can, you know, obviously, you know, it's a lighter gene, but it still keeps it really nice and dark, and has these really cool granulation type looks to it, but across the entire animal rather than with GHI where it's just kind of in certain parts of it. So it is an incredibly powerful gene, and I do personally, this is just my thought, I think that there are differing examples of Stranger. So I would get one that looks like this. Let's just say that, because this is definitely very potent. It's telling you that it's Stranger all over the place. So being 100% hit clown and hit ghost, obviously that's the route you want to go. As I've said in the past, you know, you get a male to hit yourself that visual. You get that Stranger clown, and you get that Stranger hypo clown even. That'd be really sweet. And And you literally would be. And Ghost, by the way, is hypo. It's just that when I was coming up learning all this stuff, it was very much, at least around here, around me, it was always called Ghost. Hypo was not what we called it for the longest time, but then Desert Ghost started getting insane. It blew up, and it, you know, got really confusing. So you know, Ghost kind of took a back seat to being called Hypo again, but it's still very much a valid name for it. It's many people still call it Het Ghost. But you hit yourself that example, get that double visual, and kind of go from there. You know, how you going head to head is not ideal, but you can get a female. Honestly, hypo clowns aren't even that crazy anymore. You might spend a bit, but if you get yourself a female there, you can start making it a lot easier, and then there would be no question when you go, because you wouldn't be going head to head. So you'd always either hit the visuals or you'd have a head. So kind of go from there. It's a very cool gene, no doubt. I said I would show it earlier, and here it is. The super red stripe. So red stripe is a very subtle gene, but when you get it with these double combos, we were in the super form, it's not so subtle anymore. They literally look like nuclear explosions along the side. Literally. I would call this the Fallout, but that's just me. Very rusty color. There's a lot of power to be had in something like this. It would be not on this side, I imagine, if it had a het in it at all. Like, because you're always getting a red stripe. Always. Every single animal that she breeds to will be a red stripe. There's no doubt in it, and red stripe can be a little subtle. So that's why this is so powerful. You know that everything you get. Now, the only thing I would immediately do, honestly, I would try to put this back to a red striped clown to create something even nuttier, so that I can create a het that I know is a het and get that super red stripe back into it. You know, try to get this into clown as quickly as possible. You know, super red stripe clown. I think that's been done, but I don't know for sure. But just by itself, this is no recessives. It's a proof that even though I say like it's very much a recessive game, that's not always the case. It mostly is, yes, but this is awesome. Like I said, it's like very much just like I said. It reminds me of these they look like nuclear explosions. Actually, right there, it's really weird. They look like little Minecraft characters over here. That's creepy. Look right there. Oh, the thing's in the way. Dang it! Our symbol's in the way of it. They look like little people.
Wait, I can hide that.
I'm gonna hide it for a second so you can see this.
Shay.
It's like a smiley face, like creepy in it. Hang on one second. We're gonna move. There we go. Just for a second. Look at that. Right over there. It's like little people. And then nuclear explosions. Yeah, this ain't creepy. Look at that. Like some alien baby. Okay. They do though. Doesn't that look like the Minecraft like skeleton thing or something?
A little bit.
Alright, let's put that thing back. What do we do?
Makes me think more of the piglins, but...
Piglin, sure, whatever Minecraft characters. Whatever.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Is it this one? Yeah, it is.
Okay, now our cool little thing is back. So, but that is so cool. I didn't even see that at first when I grabbed this to look at it. That's awesome. That alone makes me want to buy this. Very, very cool, powerful. Bid with confidence on this one. I don't care if it doesn't have a het in it. Go make your hets. That's so cool. You know everything's a red stripe. And Nixon Reptiles is a good breeder. So yeah, Minecraft Fallout Morph. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm doing. That's so cool. Just from the animal itself. Like I said, I didn't see that at first. I was just like looking at the colors and the nuclear explosions. But zooming up on them, they look more like, you know, this side's more of nuclear type explosions. But this side has creepy Minecraft characters. Alright, moving along. We're in our final three, so if anybody's got any questions or anything like that, throw them out there now to me. And we're back with another Monarch. Because I love them. And you can kind of see the difference here, though. You know, we looked at the last pastel Monarch, and it wasn't as potent. Let's say, where the heck was that? What was that? Yeah. This is a bit bigger of a male. But this one's only 200 grams, so it's probably gonna stay looking like this, honestly. Well, it'll fade. You know, it might fade a little or change a little, but not quite too much. It's also 50% genetic stripe. A lot of monarchs are genetic stripes because the very first monarch ever created was a monarch genetic stripe. I believe 2 of them were created, so they were actually married together at one point. They just were, and then eventually they bred out the monarch into just by itself. It's absolutely incredible. But yeah, you definitely want to send this in for a shed test if you get it. Now there is a reserve price on this one, so you need to meet it or beat it. So again, it's another one of those that you want to walk up. So let's just say I wanted this, because I would, right? You know, normally I'm gonna put like a bid, you know, like a placeholder bid, like that. So I kind of want to just be in it and expect to be outbid very quickly, but it'll remind me within an hour. But here, you're gonna want to walk it up if you're interested. Let's just say your minimum is I don't know, 1,500. I don't know what the reserve is. It does not tell you that. But don't do that. Don't just type 1,500. I'm not even gonna pretend to type 1,500 because if I hit a button, then yeah, no. But you'd walk it up. So you know, you do like maybe 400. 450. You can walk it up there, you know, to where you're comfortable until that reserve price jumps off, and then you know, or it doesn't. And then if it doesn't, no harm, no foul. If nobody else out, you know, keeps bidding it up, then it's just gonna end, and no one owes anybody anything. But if you do beat it, wouldn't it suck to find out that the reserve price was maybe 1,000 for whatever reason, and you just outbid it by $500? So don't do that. Don't just put your max bid on there. This isn't eBay. It's not going to bid up to what you want. It's very much like a real auction. If you raise your hand and say 1,500, it's not up to 1,500. It is 1,500 now. So don't do that. That would be bad. Maybe that's what happened to the guy that bid 1,500 on that one animal earlier, right? Where was that one? This one? Yeah, don't do that. But it's like I said, I love Monarch. Even in these lighter examples here, you can see it brightens it up quite well. Very beautiful, even in bright animals. Even though my heart is on the darker one. So, and actually, we're actually on our very last one. So, I have a thing here to show you at the end too. So that's why I was mistaken. And that would be this Orbit. It's not an Orbit. This Orbit Leopard Fire Super Pastel Het Clown, being in a grill too. I think this is a really cool example, and the $500 right there out of the bat. I kind of like when breeders do this because that is their reserve price, and they're just telling you right off the bat. Having a Het Clown in there is very, very nice. Now, she might look a little washed out. You're probably thinking, why would you pick this? It's a washed out animal. Why would you pick this? Because I'm thinking about what this looks like without the Super Pastel and without the Fire. Now, no matter what, when you breed her, she's always going to pass Super Pastel, or not Super, I'm sorry. She's going to pass one copy of Pastel on. The Fire and the Super Pastel are washing this animal out. It's a perfect example of too many genes, too many cooks in the kitchen, so to speak. But you can kind of see here the potential of something awesome. But Super Pastel and Fire are triple teaming, really, because it's 2 copies of Pastel and 1 copy of Fire to unfortunately undo what Orbit, why can't I speak? Orbit and Leopard are doing here, and I want to show you because I can show you on Orbit. Orbit is really nice. It is something kind of almost Stranger-ish, right? Just not quite. It's almost like in between Stranger and GHI. But look at these. Really, this is a super Orbit right here. So this is awesome. Supers are really cool. Just creates these broken up. Look at this. The alien head's like broken there. Darker kind of looking animal, but granulates the heck out of it while also smashing the pattern to absolute bits. Very, very nice gene, and quite frankly, I feel like it's a little bit of a dark gene. That it's just, to me, in this combo, like I said, the Super Pastel and the Fire are not doing it any favors. But I'm thinking as a female that there's something to work with here. The Orbit gene is very, very nice. And there's a lot of people who are going to look at this and say, heck no, I don't want this. like it looks like that as a baby. It's gonna just be one color as an adult with very faint things, and it very well might be. I don't know how it's gonna age, quite frankly. But I'm not thinking about that. I'm thinking about the orbit gene and the leopard, and the fact that this is het clown, because I would love to create an orbit. I can't say the dang name. It's Orbit now. That's what it is. It's Orbit. Orbit leopard clown. I would not mind one copy of pastel, or the fire. Honestly, fire I would prefer over all of this, but you're getting a copy of pastel, no matter what. So don't breed this to a pastel, for God's sakes, to get this again. But if you just get the Orbit pastel leopard clown in a pairing that you breed this to, throw it to something else dark too, and eventually you breed that out of it. I personally would probably try to breed all of the pastel and all that out. Maybe keeping fire though, I wouldn't mind it at all. So, but yeah, that's what I'm thinking is this sort of a thing here. So, what the heck in the heck? Somebody upload a picture with a little bit of poo on it. I think they did. That's the example one too. So still, like I said, even though this is a very washed out animal, I see the potential hiding in there with that orbit gene. That's where I see it. That's where I go with this. The leopard being along for the ride prevents this from being a complete washout for sure. Otherwise it would be very much just gray and yellow. So but yeah, I think that's it for us tonight. So go ahead and read through the comments real quick, have some conversations. Could you at some point do a budget challenge but keep it like you're just getting into breeding bull pythons? We actually kind of did that a little bit at different levels at one point. We've done more less goofy ones. Like let's face it, the ones we do for the challenges, they're fun, but they're not real, right? They teach us some stuff though while we're doing it. They teach you to get you out of your comfort zone and research some cool stuff that you could do with them. It really always gets my head going in that regards. But but I get what you're saying though. Something that's more realistic. We did do one, but it was a while back. Wasn't it clown pied? Now since then the clown pieds have dropped, so maybe we'll do another one. But the thing is that when you do those, they're not permanent, obviously. The market changes, so it could very well change, and then there's different people at different levels too. So I do a budget, and it's like, well, what's everybody's budget? It's different. So what if somebody has, $1,000? Not the greatest, but it's certainly possible to create, honestly, some cool stuff with that. Depending on what you're doing, I consider like a starting to be like 5 snakes. By the way, if you want to just start and do it as a hobbyist, either 1 or 2 males there, and preferably 1 to 4 females. That's about the max that they can do. But it obviously doesn't leave too much line for innovation and whatnot. But it is a cool little starting level. That's kind of how I started originally, and I just never stopped there. I started at 5, and then I just immediately I never really even just had 5. So, but yeah, I think we will. I think we will do a budget that's less silly, so to speak. Less, not that it's not less fun, but it's more like an actual like educational thing to try to get people to do that. So, and I think I will try to keep it on a budget level. Try to do cool things, but at a, an okay price. You think about it, you could do it at any level. You can do a video for 1,000, 2,000, 10,000. So yeah. Hey Sarah, sorry, it's late. we're just we started a little early. So yeah, I appreciate it to watch the rerun and whatnot. So yeah, we started a little bit earlier than we normally did. So ball pythons are like Pokemon, gotta collect them all. I often say that I'm a Pokemon breeder, honestly. So doing reptiles and whatnot in general. Professional Ekans breeder. Yes, it's just the different shiny versions of them. And there's a lot of shinies. So yeah, very, very cool. So But yeah, I think we're gonna call it there. As always, I really appreciate everybody joining. I love the candor and the talk. The Discord idea that we had heard earlier. That actually came from. Let me scroll up just to find it there. So.
Does it even go up that? Oh, wow.
Yes, John York. Yeah, he had reached out to me, and honestly, I thought about it. I'm like, that's a really good idea. So we're gonna create a Discord, and by we're gonna create a Discord, I mean we've created a Discord.
It's just
During that,
it's
my
in
brother
a primitive state.
It's in a very primitive state, so we don't want to share it yet until we do some things. But it's done, and there's a few things to it.
A few.
Okay, whatever. I don't know what you did while I was doing this. He did a lot of things to it. So at some point we will go and share that, and that's a thing for everybody to join in and talk with each other. You know, obviously I'll pop in there from time to time too. My brother as well, and apparently one of our friends. Obviously when we do that, you know, we just ask that everybody keep it respectful. You know, it's cool to have contrasting opinions, believe it or not. No matter what this world tries to tell you, it is okay. You know, for example, we talked about Spider earlier. It's okay for one person to dislike it because of the wobble, and it's perfectly okay for another person to like it and say, I don't think the wobble's a big problem. And you can have civil discourse around that if you want, but you know, despite what the world tells you, it's okay to have contrasting opinions, and that's, I guess, all I'm asking. When people are in there, don't start getting into these goofy internet arguments. I don't like drama. If you can't tell, that's not the point of this channel. I don't like doing it. I could certainly do it, and you know, we've even discussed doing, you know, some things on. Not on specific YouTubers, by the way, just some things talking about some stuff. And we kind of have, but I don't like focusing on it, and I definitely don't like targeting it, and I don't like it in the community in general. I think there's enough of that as is. So, yeah, anyways, I definitely like the idea of the Discord. I'm excited for it. We'll let everybody know more about that. So, but yeah, in the meantime, we're going to go ahead and call it there. Again, I very much appreciate everybody always showing up to these things. You know, it's very cool to see the you know, the community here come together and be active in the chat and everything like that. So yes, and I will give love to all the snake friends here. And it is hailing out where we're at.
Again?
So yeah, I don't know why it's hailing. It's like winter now, but we live in Northwest Indiana, and that happens there. So anyways, I'm gonna call it there before some stupid thing like losing power happens. So everybody have a wonderful night, and again, thank you so much for joining.